Hello, EDL 602 students. How are you? I hate that we did not get to spend time this Saturday on virtual, but I know everyone was happy to have their Saturdays back, at least to prepare for back to school because it is fast approaching. As you can see, I'm sitting in my office, so I know it is fast approaching. So, as we prepare for our last weeks in our course, I wanted to just kind of go over a couple of things just to make sure everyone's on track and everybody's moving in the right direction. Continue to send me those emails with your questions, and I will continue to get those answered as quickly as I can. I have been out of town. I've been presenting at a couple of conferences, and so I've gotten a little delayed on grading. My goal is to get all of those things caught up as this week progresses through and to have your grades all prepared and ready to go for the last week of the trimester. Hopefully, everyone got their mock teacher evaluations turned in on yesterday and got everything ready to go for that. As we move into week 9, this week is the last full week of the trimester, and I just need y'all to know a couple of things. One being your group project for your best practices does involve the members of your data project group. And this is just for students at the master's level, I'm sorry, at the specialist and doctoral level. Those are the only people this applies to. And that's the 81E students. You should be working on your group project with your group members from the data project. I want to make sure I say that so you guys know what the expectation is for that. Um, I am not married to a font or a program. If you're using Canva, if you're using Google Slides, if you're using PowerPoint, or if you're just using good old Microsoft Word, I just need it. When I click on it, I need it to be able to open so that I can grade it. If it is password protected and all of those things, it slows down the grading. So, and then I'll have to email you back to get into it. So I always tell students to check it to make sure that it is accessible to others. If you're sharing it with me, you need to share it in a manner that it will open and I don't need like rights to get to it. That's one of the only things that I have noticed with the best practice assignment is just being able to get to it. I am going to go to the rubric and let's look at that together. And you can download it if you would like to. But looking at the rubric, this is a 100-point assignment, but you need to make sure you have a cover slide. And it doesn't need to be in 12 font Times New Roman. If you want to make it decorative, use your creativity. But what I need you to know that you do need to make sure you're listing the title as well as the group members that are a part of your team. And then within this, and this form is a little bit incorrect, so I'm gonna kind of critique it as I go through it with you guys. There aren't 10 best practices. You're doing five. Five elementary, five middle, and five high school. And these are best practices. When I think about elementary best practice, one of ours here at Mansdale Upper is we're a PBIS school. So a lot of our best practices for behavior centers around how we handle PBIS. Middle and high school, I love the way that scheduling is done and how that is done within a system or within the counselors or within just the admin team. Those are considered best practices. So as you're thinking through some of those things, as you're talking to your mentors, you're going to learn what best practices they use to start the school year, to continue the school year, or maybe to end the school year. So make sure as you're listing out the best practices, you are working directly with your mentor because this assignment will also be one that you can use for your practicum hours later. So please make sure you're paying attention to those things as you complete this assignment. So as we look at what's coming up due for this next time, I went too far. Let's go back. All right, the group project. I wanted to go to the Dropbox for our group project. So keeping in mind, you are working in that same group that you worked in for your data projects. Thinking about examples of best practices, there's some listed here, the bulletin board, memos, how your principal gets communication out to you as you and the staff or to parents and families, how morning procedures are done. So all of these examples are here. And as I said before, your cover page does not have to be the William Carey cover page. You can be creative with it. Just make sure you include the title of the project, the name of the participants, your group members, your class in this trimester. And I need 5 elementary best practices, 5 middle school, and 5 high school. And guys, I know some of them will overlap, but there should be 5 different things for each one. Don't write one and say it's for elementary, middle, and high school. That's not going to help you. Do one that is elementary, one group that is middle, and one group that is high school. 5 different things or 5 things that may overlap. Be creative. And I know it says use APA style and 12 font. I am going to say it is an electronic booklet that I want to be pleasing to the eye. So you don't necessarily have to stick to those things, right? Try to keep it to at least 10 pages, right? Or 10 slides. You will need to put more than one practice per page because if not, it'll be 15 pages, right? And keep in mind, part of your rubric is making sure that we stay within the page or slide numbers. You are free to use graphics and images to depict your best practices. And you also need to either include a slide at the end to give credit to the administrators that you worked with, or at the end of each best practice slide. If you use one administrator for elementary, then you would want to list that elementary principal's name at the bottom of the elementary slide. Or, like I said before, you can wait to the very last slide and do it similar to a reference page, but giving credit to the administrators that you worked with. Also, be mindful that you have the rubric listed here. And again, I do grade from the rubric. So if you're doing these things, you will gain all the points that are allocated for this assignment. And if you have any questions about this, please don't hesitate to send me an email and I will try to respond and get you some more information around this. All right, let's move on to our next big thing. The next big thing is your 6 domains reflection. Guys, this is the first year that we're doing it as a video presentation. Much like your beginning of the year get to know me video, but this one has more depth because you're going to present this as if you are the person standing in front of a group of leaders and you're talking about these 6 domains. So when I think about that, the questions that you've spent time writing about are the questions that need to guide this presentation. So keeping in mind, you've already done this assignment. When you were turning in your weekly domain assignments, you were preparing for this, right? So when you get to this point of the assignment, you just know in your mind, I'm going to read this sentence directly to you. You are not retelling each domain in elements, but verbally, you're going to share the basic knowledge you gleaned and wish to implement as a future administrator. You're going to be creating this presentation of information to a future employer. So thinking about that in that term, if you were presenting to a superintendent or a school board, how would you want to tell this information? As you look at the different domains, as I said, these are your guiding questions to getting this assignment done, right? You're going to make notes that you can refer to as you're speaking, but please don't get on here and just read. Again, you are presenting. Treat it as such. And I am going to be looking to see How confident you are from your first video to this one. The questions, just again, they're guiding questions. If I were you, I'd go back to my domains assignments and I'd jot down those big thoughts and I'd wrap them up. Okay, I'm the administrator. I'm the one presenting to the superintendent. What would I want to say to the superintendent about what would an administrator do to make sure that I am, as the leader, leading and making decisions based upon my school's data that will improve student achievement. That's the task. You're going to speak to that as the administrator. You're going to talk about those things in a way that you're presenting that will keep someone engaged, also will teach them something. So as you go through domain one's question, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, these are just guiding questions to help you stay on point in your presentation. Okay, let's look at our rubric. Let's talk about that. I'm going to come back to all of these points that are there, but let's look at our rubric. You're going to clearly articulate what an administrator would do to lead a school making decisions based upon your school's data to improve student achievement. Each one of these says that you're going to clearly articulate. So make sure when you decide what you want to say about each domain that you have that as you own it and can clearly speak about it. And you're going to do that for each and every last one, right? And then the technical quality and length of the video. Keeping that in mind, again, guys, I am grading a lot of these. So please make sure the length of your video meets the 4 to 5 minute requirement. You can get it done within 5 minutes because if you were talking in front of a group of people, you don't want to bore them and you want to engage them, but you're only given the high points. Okay, transition back to the general directions of this platform. So you must use the recording feature within Canvas to make your video. Failure to follow the directions and use another platform will require you to redo this assignment correctly. I'm going to say correctly and quickly because grades are closing out soon. Okay, so try hard to get your platform to work. I know the first go round we had a lot of glitches. So guys, do your very best to get this done within this platform. The directions for recording, they're there, or you can go back to the first video that I did in module 1 or module 2. I'm sorry, in module 2 that gave you directions on how to get into the actual video. But these directions, guys, they walk you through getting in and all the things that you need to do for this assignment. So just be mindful of all the things because you're gonna have to start the assignment and you have to use the webcam. Like there is no other way. You have to allow your computer to use everything within your system. As you see, my webcam turned on. It is there for me to go ahead and to record. Right now it says take photo because I have a live video going. If I turn the live video off with you guys, it'll say record. So those are the things that you just need to know in order to use your live webcam. And that's how you will get this assignment done, and then you can hit submit. If you're having technical difficulties, I'm going to say this in the nicest way, guys. I am not IT and I can't do the technical part. I don't know how to get your computer to download this webcam. I don't know how to get your computer to work it. If those are the issues you're having, you will need to contact William Carey's IT department in order to get that fixed. I can't help you guys with that, and I am sorry. I wished I could because if I could, I would. But I can't. So let's keep going. I would like to go back to our module. And I'm going to take us all the way to week 10. So we've talked about what we're doing in week 9 with our Dropbox for our best practices and our Dropbox for our best video presentation of the 6 domains. Be mindful that you need to be checking your William Carey email, not Canvas, not Messenger, because, unless we're on here doing something specific, we don't know that there is a message in inbox in the Messenger here on Canvas. If you are missing any work or I need you to complete something, please know I will email you to remind you to get that turned in. That's my goal this week so that you guys have a little bit of room over the weekend and next week to get everything accomplished. So you're ready to go when it's time to have everything available to you. Um, let's see here. I did talk about that. Um, the last thing is that you have a drop box for week 10, the reflection. This drop box is actually due this Sunday. So you don't have a lot of room for this assignment because it's due at the same time these things are due. I think I'm going to change that till Monday and you can have it turned in by Monday. But with that being said, you do have a lot of deadlines that are fast approaching. And I will have to get your grades turned in quickly after this time frame. So please check your emails and make sure that all your assignments are in. And if there are any that I asked you to resubmit, that you've also gotten those things turned in to make sure you're getting the best grade for the assignment so that you can finish this trimester with the best grade for yourselves. I think that's all I have to share for this week. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, please don't hesitate to email me, and I will be happy to respond so that you guys can, as I said before, finish the trimester strong. Have a great evening, and I look forward to well, no, I can't say look forward to talking with y'all soon because this is the end. So good luck on your future endeavors at William Carey. Bye bye.